I quit my job on a Friday and my manager cried. Not because she was sad to lose me, because she knew what was coming and I was the only thing standing between her and it. I'd been covering for her for 14 months without fully realizing that's what I was doing because it happened gradually the way those things do. First she'd ask me to sit in on a meeting she couldn't make, then handle a client she found difficult, then own a project end to end while her name stayed on the top of the deck and I just kept saying yes because yes felt like growth, felt like trust. Felt like she believed in my ability and not like she was quietly building a life raft out of my. The job had stopped making sense 8 months in. But I stayed because I'm the kind of person who believes in seeing things through and because I'd told myself a story about this role that I needed to finish even after the story stopped being true. My breaking point wasn't dramatic. It was a Tuesday, nothing special. She forwarded me an email from her manager asking for an update on a project that was entirely mine and her covering note said, "Can you handle this?" and something about those 3 words. The casualness of them, the assumption, finally landed differently than all the ones before. I started applying that night. Quietly, the way you do things when you're not ready to make them real yet. Just testing, just seeing. And within 6 weeks I had an offer that was better than what I was making and gave me notice the following Monday. She called me into her office, closed the door, which she never did, and sat across from me, and I could see her doing the maths in real time, going through the list of everything I was currently holding, and her face did something I hadn't seen it do before, which was panic, genuine unmanaged panic, and that told me more about what I'd actually been doing for 14 months than any conversation we'd ever had. She said, "We can talk about your salary." I said, "I've already signed." She said, "There must be something," and I said, "There isn't," and she said, "Can you at least stay for 2 months to help with the transition?" And I said, "I can do 4 weeks, which is my notice period," and she looked at me like I'd said something cruel, but 4 weeks was literally my contractual obligation, and I had delivered above my contractual obligation every single day for 14 months, so I sat with that look and didn't move. She cried in the 3rd week, real tears, in the office kitchen, and I felt for her because I'm not made of stone, but I also felt something else, something quieter, that understood those tears were about her situation and not about me leaving, and there's a difference, and I knew the difference by then. My last day was a Friday. I cleared my desk, said my goodbyes, shook her hand, and walked out into the kind of afternoon that feels significant even when nothing about it looks it. 3 months into my new job I got a message from a former colleague. My old manager had been put on a performance improvement plan. I read it once, put my phone away, and went back to work.